It's time to nerd out. With your hosts, Wes, Ben, and Jeremy. This is Two Nerds and a Jock, an entertainment podcast. Movies, video games, comics. Are you not entertained?
Welcome to the second episode of Two Nerds and a Jock.
What's up? Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And I just want to start off with a nice little...
Hello there.
Jesus.
If you all could see Jeremy's face. That is my new favorite sound bit. I'm just going to let you know.
How dare you use Ewan McGregor's voice against me?
He's blushing.
So, second episode. What have you guys been up to lately? Let's catch everybody up on how everyone's week's been.
I've mostly just been busy working the day job grind, and I started stunt training, so that's fun. So, yeah, I'm stunt training in Denver, which is great, and it's also a very long drive.
Forward rolls.
All of those forward rolls. What about you, Ben? What have you been up to?
Outside of working, trying to finalize a book that I've been writing for way too long with a co-writer. We're getting there. I think we're at around 65,000 words. It's starting to be illustrated, so hopefully soon that'll be on, I don't know, maybe Amazon or Kindle or something like that.
Do you want to reveal the name or no? You want to wait? You want to hold that?
I can reveal. So it's the Two Worlds series. And it's kind of like it's a knight's tale. There's a lot of it's kind of like Lord of the Rings in the sense that it does take place in a medieval time, and it's about a kid who has to go through his hero's journey and meet some crazy fun friends along the way. So it'll be I don't know. It should be good. I hope it's good. I hope everybody likes it.
I think so. You described enough to me before where I think I could listen to an audiobook.
Who should read it? That's the thing. I'm not reading. Like, whose voice would you want to hear it in? It's a medieval's tale.
Whose voice would I want to hear it in? There's only one answer, Morgan Freeman.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
The next best thing is our announcer that we hired. Just hired him.
I'd be okay about that. I'd be okay.
I myself, I think I already caught you guys up pre-show, but getting ready to shoot a short that we'll be filming October 5th, both of which you will be in, so not really news to you, but everyone listening, I'm going to plug myself. Shooting a romantic comedy short that will be a ton of fun. I think everybody will enjoy it as long as it's done right. But I can't really say as always, but as always, we are going to start our podcast with a warm-up game.
Name that.
But again, just to reiterate, if you have not listened to the first episode, how this game works is I will play a 5 to 10 second clip. Some of them actually might be 15 seconds, but a short clip from a film. I'm looking for my two contestants here to name the movie, actor, and director. If one doesn't get all three, the opposite person can take a shot at what they didn't guess and steal a point. Each of you will have 5 clips. I will be timing it this time to make sure some of you don't sit on your answers forever.
Ben.
What?
No using your phone to cheat either. Phone on the table.
Phone on the table.
Well, no, if it vibrates, then the fans will just...
It should be on silent in the first place.
Phone's going on the table.
I apologize. This is what it's like to be with a diva. You all have a little taste of what that's like.
Let it be known I did do my hair just to come and do a podcast. It almost looks fresh, right?
It's a good thing It's a good thing you're pretty.
All right, we should be good.
Now that we've dragged that out.
That was obnoxious. Let's play the game.
Begin the game. Entertain me.
Entertain.
All right.
First.
First one, I did Ben first last time.
Yeah, I think it's my turn.
I think it's time for a little Jer Bear.
Ooh.
Go
Did your
for
wife
it.
call you that? Did that make? Am I crossing a line?
No, it's it's really weird. My wife doesn't call me that, but a lot of my other friends call me that. But it's not gonna stick.
Jeremy, ready for your first clip?
I am ready. Let me have it.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
As your clip, sir.
Awesome. So that's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The actor is Matthew Broderick. And once again, I'm going to fail at naming the director.
So sad.
I know.
The director was actually referred to in the movie Ready Player One. Just throwing that out there.
I have no clue.
Okay. Well, Ben has no clue.
I have no clue.
John Hughes.
John Hughes.
That's a name you should know. That's like a lot of the
I know.
classics. That's a lot of the classics.
I'm sorry. Like, this is... Let's remember that I only started doing this film stuff, like, a couple years ago, and studying directors was never really my thing.
Maybe this is why we fail as actors, is because we don't know the directors.
Well, I'm getting a very good lesson in that through this podcast.
All right. Ben, you ready for your first clip, sir?
I hope so.
All right.
Today we face the monsters that are at our door and bring the fight to them. Today we are canceling the apocalypse.
So it's Pacific Rim,
Yep.
Idris Elba. Hope I pronounced that right. You knew what I meant. It's don't shake your head at me. That's it. And yeah, no idea who the director was.
5 seconds.
Yeah, nope, I got nothing on the
All right.
director.
Don't look at me. I have no idea. It's a fantastic movie, though.
Guillermo del Toro. I can't say his first name right.
Del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro?
Thank you. That. I can't say it.
I love that movie.
The guy that did,
I know his name.
did Hellboy.
Yeah,
did-
I know his name.
The new one or the old one?
I just didn't know that he directed...
Which Hellboy?
The original.
The original? Okay.
If you had said Hellboy, that one I would have gotten.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I just watch movies. Like, I don't read the credits. Does anybody read credits?
Hey, don't look at me. Gosh. All right. Back to Jeremy. Oh, I'm excited for this clip.
Which means I'm probably going to not get it.
It should be super easy.
What's the name?
Lance.
Listen here, Lance. Lance. What the did I just hear, Lance?
Did you say Lance? No. That sounded like Lance.
No, I said Nance.
Yes.
I mean, I
When's it my turn?
When the time runs out, be patient.
that, I'll just give this one to Ben because I don't know it. I don't know.
Ben.
It's just a dude playing another dude who's also playing a dude.
Oh,
Robert
damn
Downey
it.
Jr.
Yep.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, I don't know, he dances in the movie. It's a weird
He does dance in that movie, but he did not direct
Did
it.
I just forgot that? I have no
Ben Stiller.
Yeah,
clue. Seriously?
Yeah, he directed it.
You know, he's a very
Wait, you knew that?
I did know that one.
Oh.
But he didn't know it was that movie until it
Right.
mentioned
Yeah.
that
You already
lost
playing
your
a dude
turn,
playing
so-
another dude,
That's yeah. I mean, that's fine. The thing is, I've only seen Tropic Thunder once.
Blasphemy.
It was only kind of funny in places.
Oh man. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the movie for me. It starts off really strong, but then it kind of fades.
Yeah.
But I still like it. Like it's enjoyable.
Also, back then when I did watch it, I didn't like Ben Stiller as an actor. I love Ben Stiller as an actor now.
He's still for me.
Uh,
I just liked watching a black Robert Downey Jr. That was
He's just a dude
that was
playing
the
a dude
selling
playing
point
another
for
dude.
me.
I don't know what this is going to say about me, but one of my favorite movies is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh no, that's actually not a bad movie.
I
I don't know
love
if I've
that
ever
movie.
seen that.
Really? Oh man,
I
it's
need
so
to
good.
though.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's
I've heard
just
good things.
it's a great story. It's shot really well. Great soundtrack.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, please do. It's
All right, Ben,
Oh, I'm ready.
ready for your next clip, sir?
I think so.
All right.
You fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia, but only slightly less well known is this. Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
This bugs me because it's the Princess Bride. I just don't know that actor's name, and it bugs me. because I love that movie. Talk about just a fun, I don't know, it's just a fun movie. The Princess Bride, but I don't know his name. I don't know the actor's name.
2, 1. Any cracks, Jeremy?
So I don't know the actor's name either, but I can tell you it was directed by Rob Reiner.
Oh, director!
I got a director's
I'm so proud.
Did you look that up on your fancy computer?
Keep your hands off the keyboard during the game. I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that.
You just sit there typing away. I'm
Okay,
like, this
so
guy.
let me preface
I'm going to
this.
disclose for those that can't see, the page was not up. It does not appear that he cheated. But he was typing when the clip was
We're
playing.
going to take a vote. Does he get a point?
Here's the thing. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, my dad showed me that movie when I was a kid, and I've like even read the book. Not the longer version, but like the abridged version, because the longer version is incredibly lengthy. So what happened was that the screenwriter for that movie also wrote the abridged version, because the story that's being told in the movie is the abridged version that his grandfather used to read to him when he was sick. But the original version of that book is super long, and there's like an entire like 30-page chapter just dedicated to Buttercup packing clothes.
Seriously?
Yes. Like, it's
amazing.
Awful.
No, it's absolutely amazing. Andre the Giant was in that movie.
He was.
Do I get a point for that one?
No, that was not who was in the clip. All right, let's move forward. All right.
That will be the only director I ever get. Unless we do a Batman clip.
Right? Or Transformers.
Well, last episode you got Joss Whedon.
Oh, that's true. I did get Joss Whedon.
With that kind of positivity. Let's play the next clip.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bull.
Hey, let's just be clear. There is no conspiracy.
I got this one. It's Will Smith, iRobot, and once again the director's name eludes me.
I still can't.
Yeah, it's right after. It's when he's first at the crime scene and he's talking to the guy who owns the robot manufacturing company, and he's like saying, "Oh, my robots are perfect," and he's making himself that coffee with like 8 spoonfuls of sugar.
Yeah. And Will Smith just jokes. It wasn't even a real sneeze.
Sarcasm.
The sarcasm. That's actually. I just realized I gave you 2 Will Smith clips in a row because I did one last episode and then I just did one this episode.
I like Will Smith movies.
Good thing I gave it to you because Ben was super clueless on that one.
I feel horrible. I like that movie.
It's a great movie.
Any guess on the director, Ben?
I'm just gonna throw out Michael Bay. That's not it, but I'm just throwing Michael Bay. There was no fiery explosions. So.
Not a name I'm familiar with. It's Alex Proyas.
You did a good job. It's a good movie.
It was a great movie.
You guys were tied, but you pulled ahead by 2 points. 5.
What?
All right, Ben. All you better not disappoint me. Better not. All I'm saying. Ready?
I hope so.
You're late.
For what?
Fair enough.
All right. Seth MacFarlane, A Million Ways to Die in the West. And Mr. MacFarlane also directed that.
Bing! All 3 correct.
Is that the first time ever that we've gotten all 3, one person?
I think so, yeah.
Well, no, he did Batman last week.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah.
But that was a super easy
So
one.
it wasn't special then?
No, it wasn't especially special.
With that, Ben pulls ahead by a point.
Very nice. Nicely done.
You worried me because for a second there, you had this look on your face like you didn't recognize it. Until the line, for what?
That voice came through. I heard Brian.
It's one of my favorite lines ever in a movie.
His dad just looks up and goes, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, you ready for your next one?
I am.
I don't know, I got wasted last night, and my phone says I texted someone at 3:15 asking them to beat me up. And then at 4:30, I texted the same person saying thanks.
And you don't remember it?
No, same as last time.
That's your clip. Your face. I'm sorry.
You know what's so upsetting is I should know this actor's name.
The thing
I do an impersonation of him all the time.
That's the thing is I don't know his name either. I can name a dozen movies he's been in, but I don't know this one.
You got 10 seconds.
Nope, I'm out.
Yeah,
Can
Ben.
you play a game just for funsies?
I can.
I don't know. I got f***ing wasted last night, and my phone says I texted someone at 3:15 asking them to beat me up, and then at 4:30 I texted the same person saying thanks.
And you don't remember it?
No, same as last time.
I got nothing.
So disappointed in both of you.
Disappointed!
Because I know Ben at least knows this movie. That was Patrick Warburton and Mark Wahlberg talking. Ted.
Oh no!
I've never actually seen it.
This is the end, and now Ted. You're not going anywhere tonight. We're gonna watch some movies. Seth MacFarlane as the director.
You're now the jock in this, and I'm now the nerd. Come on now.
I spend too much time flipping between movies and video games. So
That's fair.
It does not matter. I make time for both equally.
yeah. But do you know the studios that make all the games?
No, actually, I
Yeah,
could not
see?
tell you that. But this is not the name of that game. So
I'm still up by one.
you are still up by one, sir. And that was Jeremy's clip. So it's back to you, sir.
Yeah. You might win this one, bud.
Now, how many more rounds we got?
We are on to the. Each of you have. Well, he has one clip. You have two left.
Okay, so game time.
Ready?
Yeah.
It's not what I meant. I meant, are you all right?
I wanted to hit that kid. I wanted to hit him so bad.
I know you did. I mean, part of me even wanted you to, but then what? Make you feel any better?
So I wanted to go a little more obscure because that's a popular movie. But Ben seems to look like he knows what it is.
So it's Man of Steel.
Yep.
Because it's when he's talking to his son by the fence. And it's Kevin Costner.
Yep.
And the director, it's Snyder, Zack Snyder.
Oh my gosh. We were just talking about this downstairs.
Oh, I know. And my brain like totally went whoop. Like I lost the name of Kevin and everything just went blank when I heard that clip because I think I got so excited. I was like, oh my God, I know this.
As soon as you said the movie name, I was like, oh, I know who this is.
Yeah, it's when he's like
But I
grabbing
don't-
the fence. And
Yeah,
it's,
I do not remember that scene.
It's a good scene. Yeah.
That's why I chose it. It's a good scene. It's a good character moment.
It's a beautiful character
All
moment.
right, Jeremy.
Okay. Last one.
Last
By
one.
4 now, I think.
3, 4, 3,
4.
4.
This will be your fifth. You've done 4 already.
No,
how many?
Ben's ahead by 4 points.
Yes, actually, yeah, you're doing that. Yeah, I'm tracking, but I wasn't like doing
So
the
you're
math.
going to
in
win
my head.
anyway, even if I get all 3.
Game time, baby.
Well, I mean, I know Jeremy at least knows this movie for sure. So if he doesn't get it,
I don't know. We assumed.
it's a little. I mean,
We've assumed before.
We've assumed before.
to be fair,
To be fair.
you actually said that last podcast, and I didn't catch it until I was editing, and I was like, "Oh, he actually said that." I missed my chance.
I was so upset too because I did that and nothing. And I was like, okay, we'll just let it.
We were locked in real nerdy conversation at that moment.
I just pretended it didn't happen. Hashtag Letterkenny.
All right, you ready?
All right, hit me, Wes.
Maybe it's time we all stop trying to outsmart the truth and let it have its day. I'm sorry.
You're sorry. You expect to destroy my world. And then think that we're gonna shake hands.
That is your clip, sir.
So, it's The Dark Knight Rises. Christian Bale. And the director was Christopher Nolan.
I will give you an extra point if you name the other actor. It won't put him ahead. It'll tie it.
Sir Christopher... What's his last
How
name?
much more time he has? Like, we gotta burn this through.
You got 5 seconds.
Okay.
Damn it. I can't remember his last name.
Oh, man.
Do I get a point?
I get... No. Like,
It's, Michael
either which
Caine.
way, you win because you're ahead by a point.
Yeah.
But it's Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael
Damn it.
Caine. Sir Michael Caine.
Sir Michael Caine. I don't know how I
But you have to
fucked
say it
that
like
up.
you're him.
Well, I mean, I won't say you win yet. I mean,
What do you mean? Because he could take it
you
from
could
me.
steal the next clip.
So do I get
that's
that
true.
point that you were going to offer to him?
No.
That seems low.
It's just a bonus point.
I see what's happening here. It's the two nerds versus the jock. I see why I was invited to this.
If you get... here's the thing. The reason I say no is I think you'll get this.
Yeah, we're going to find out.
Okay. You ready?
Clear your mind, Ben.
It's kind of a theme going tonight, so just... You good?
Is it Will Smith?
Plus, I haven't had to kill anyone in a while.
Starting to miss it?
Right about now, I am.
Yeah.
Zero, back to the car.
Attaboy.
It's Hugh Jackman.
Yes, sir.
It's the robot movie. The point with the like Rock'em Sock'em brought to 21st century.
Okay.
It's oh no.
10 seconds.
Oh no. The name of the movie totally left me. It's
Time. All right. So no, you only got Hugh Jackman. I know you didn't listen to the movie, but that wasn't even the movie.
What movie was it?
Jeremy, you have a steal?
It's Wolverine Origins.
Oh,
Was it really?
Yep.
In the back of my mind, I was thinking about that, but some of the lines, I was like,
Nah, because it's the general talking to it's the guy who made him Wolverine, essentially.
Any guess on the director? You could tie it right now.
I'm trying to think with all my might who directed that movie, and I should know it, but I can't think of it.
Okay. Gavin Hood is his name. And yeah, just to dive in, so that's like the moment, like he still has his bone claws, but he's in Canada just chilling out. The colonel finds him, and with that agent that never misses with the two pistols. That's who he's talking to, Zero. Agent Zero is his name.
that's right.
And they kind of have a beef. But he dies pretty quickly in the movie. He's like only in it for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. He's not in it very long. But yeah, Ben, congratulations on your first win. Look at that. How do you feel? Tell the audience how you feel.
Oh, if I could take a victory lap, I would.
All right, moving on. So,
sorry to let you down.
In other news.
And Jeremy, I'm just gonna have to let you know right now.
You lose! Good day, sir!
So,
Gene Wilder again.
if only we all had top hats.
Yeah.
If only. What a world.
This would be a fancier podcast.
It would. Hey, we could do it next time. Nobody would see it, but I would feel classy.
All right, moving on. So we are moving into our next section of the podcast where we talk about the upcoming news. Nerd news, if you will. Quite a bit has happened since our last podcast. Who would like to go first? We all got quite a bit of things to talk about. Either of you want to jump in? All right, I'll jump in. So,
hold on. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. I was going to say, I do want to talk about the fact. I want to know what you guys' feelings are on this, because I know that we're all huge fans of the Marvel Universe. Mm-hmm. And with Sony finally confirming that Spider-Man is completely out of the MCU and that there's no hope of reconciliation, how are you feeling?
When did this happen?
Just this last week. So the
I'm canceling my Marvel fan page.
It's heartbreaking, but I guess my big question, sorry to cut you off, is are we saying no more Spider-Man with what we've created so far? As in are we talking just they're going to reboot it and do their own thing? Or are they going to take what we have and continue using the same actor, the same storyline? Because as long as they continue it, I think they have it. I think they've set up something really special. So it's going to be really heartbreaking if they can't continue with what they've been doing.
And you're absolutely right. So what they've decided to do is that the director from Sony has basically said that there's no way that they can reconcile with Disney right now. But they've got their own plans. They are going to use Tom Holland still as Spider-Man, which is fantastic. But instead of him being part of the MCU, he's going to be part of his own Spider-Verse type universe. So they're going to combine him with Venom. And I haven't seen Far From Home, much to my chagrin. But I've heard lots of things about Sinister Six being involved, and so there should be a lot of interesting things happening with that. I am disappointed that we'll never get to see like Spider-Man and Deadpool, because now Disney owns Fox. Mm-hmm. But they've got a lot of stuff going on there, and I guess there was some concern about whether Disney would be able to hold up, keep Spider-Man going, on their own. I personally feel like they could have done it, that they would have done it if the deal had stayed that way. But I get why the split happened. Unfortunately, it does mean that some of our, more exciting Marvel like fan theories and stuff are just gonna crumble away.
Well, I've been wanting to see Madam Web brought into the fold for a long time, so maybe they'll play with her.
That could be a way to tie it in. Honestly, not to be this way, but the only one I've been super impressed with by Sony is Into the Spider-Verse.
That was an amazing movie. It
was a great movie. But the first step in the right direction. Like, the Amazing Spider-Man movies weren't horrible, but they weren't anything special. Like, Uncle Ben is being pulled out of his grave again to get shot again at some point, I'm sure. Well, they're just going to keep going with, their own thing.
I think if they stick with the same formula that they used for Into the Spider-Verse, then we'll be okay. It's proof that Sony can do it if they really want to. If they really put their minds to it, they can take that character and make him amazing.
So then I have a question.
Is that a pun?
It was a pun.
I see. We see what you did there. We see. So what characters do you think, because now that they're locked out, with Disney owning Marvel, like Spider-Man's on its own island, what characters do you think, or do you know maybe, what doesn't Disney own? Who can they pull into that Spider universe? With it being villains, maybe other heroes. Who can they bring in to fill those character roles, those spots?
Clearly, I don't know everybody. I'm not well versed in who owns what property, but the big one, obviously, is Venom. So bringing Venom into the Spider-Man universe, that's going to be big. And they are going to use Tom Hardy's version. So that should be really interesting. I'm also curious to see if they decide to move forward with the whole Carnage storyline, because at the end of the Venom movie, you see Woody Harrelson in jail, who plays the Venom character. His actual character, real life character name is escaping me at the moment. The serial killer. What's his name?
Not Carnage, but who Carnage is?
Yeah.
Are you talking about like the guy's name or just Carnage?
The guy's name who is Carnage.
I can look it up. I'm spacing his name.
We're the worst
You
nerds
guys are
in history.
letting, like, the nerds down in this
Yeah,
world.
I know. This is the first time. I think it's part of it's the first time, like, when we're having casual conversation, it's not a big deal, but feel kind of on the spot
The pressure.
on the podcast.
I'm almost worried I'm going to say his name wrong. It's Cletus Cassidy.
Cletus Cassidy, thank you. So
Now that I read it, it makes sense. Yeah, it came back to me. But
I'm super excited to see someone like Woody Harrelson reprise that role, because I think Woody
his
Harrelson's
horrible red wig.
But it kind of worked.
So
to each their own. I'm going to leave that one alone.
I liked it. I thought it made him look crazy as heck, and I like Woody Harrelson as an actor. I think he's fantastic.
So do you think that, my limited knowledge, and I know there's been a bunch of different renditions of Spider-Man in the universe with Venom and Carnage, but usually, the ones that I've seen, growing up, Brock is the same age as Peter. They went to high school together. And so now you have a Venom that's played by someone that's, quite a bit older. Do you think that they're just going to play off of a different storyline and that's just how it is? Or do you think that they're going to bring something like some kind of Spider-Verse or some kind of unique thing to make that age gap flow?
We'll see, because the weird thing was that Eddie Brock's Venom is usually the villain Venom. Instead of, like, in the movie that Sony made, they made him kind of like an anti-hero.
He fluctuates in the comics. He goes through swings. He
does. But it really, I think where they're probably going to try and go is they're going to try and do the vigilante Venom, essentially, where they make Flash Thompson the character into Venom, where he's like the good version of Venom, the hero version of Venom. But we'll see. That was the most popular fan theory. We'll see if that actually ends up happening. I'm curious to see how they'll reconcile the Spider-Man timeline.
So you guys are going to hate me for this. Is it Brock? Because I haven't seen Venom yet. It's on my to-do list. So don't
really?
shit me.
No, I actually thought you saw it.
No, I still need to. It's on my to-do list. I'm going to get there.
Yeah. Good old mumbling Hardy.
Dude, they could
totally play Rocky.
I was just going to say that if they brought Rocky back, boom.
I'm Tom Hardy.
I gotta say, Tom Hardy did a really great job in Venom, because that's a lot of, like, body acting that I feel like is like
Oh yeah, he
is
flailed
super
himself.
difficult.
He's a phenomenal
You know,
actor.
I think they actually gave him a seizure and just recorded it. Like,
Clear. Wes, what do you want to talk about this week?
I found what I was not talking to you guys about earlier, so I wanted to cover it because I'm like super. This could either be really good news or really bad news.
Okay.
James Gunn has released his cast list for Suicide Squad.
Ooh.
And it
okay.
is massive.
Ooh, I haven't seen this yet either. I have no idea.
I'm really excited.
Read it off to you.
I've stayed away
I
from it.
have it right in front of you. I might butcher some of the names, but bear with me.
Okay.
David Malchian. I'm not sure how to say that. John Cena.
Wait, what?
Let me finish. Jay Courtney.
Jai Courtney.
Okay. Joaquin Cosio. Nathan Fillion.
What? Hold up.
Joel Kinnaman. Mei Ling Ning. Flola Borg. Sean Gunn, his brother. Juan Diego Botto. Storm Reed. Pete Davidson. Taika Waititi, director of Ragnarok. Alice Braga. Steve Agee. Tinishi Kajiz. Daniela Melchior, I think I'm saying that right. Peter Capaldi, Julio Ruiz, Jennifer Holland, Viola Davis, Idris Elba, Margot Robbie, and Michael Rooker.
Okay.
Look at that cast list right there.
That's phenomenal.
That's phenomenal. Okay, I have to ask because...
And I don't know who's who. It's literally just like a bam, he made a poster with just their names and that's it.
So you don't know who's who?
Well, John Cena is going to play Peacemaker. I just looked this up because I wanted to make sure I had the right faces with the right names. So yeah, John Cena will be the Peacemaker.
Yeah, please tell me who Nathan Fillion is playing. Nathan Fillion...
It doesn't say. They haven't announced it.
That's
a surprise.
I love him as an actor.
I want to know
excited.
because he's king of the nerds. Nathan Fillion, if you're listening to this, please come be on our podcast.
Firefly was cut short way too soon.
Yeah.
I loved Firefly.
I love Firefly.
Let's see, who else have they announced?
I really, if I had a dream role that I could be in besides wanting to play Nightwing in a major motion picture, my other dream role would be to reprise a role in Firefly. This cast list is so interesting. You know, I just can't decide who's going to be who. Like, I'm kind of wondering, because Will Smith isn't listed in this. I'm wondering if Idris Elba will be taking over as Deadshot. That would be.
I don't even think Deadshot's being played with.
You don't think so?
They, from what I understand, they completely just butchered the entire roster except for Harley Quinn.
Not mad about it. I love it.
Which happens in the comics anyway.
No.
Like, it's always a rotating roster.
Jai Courtney's in it. Again, as Captain Boomerang.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I'm not my favorite rendition of Captain Boomerang either.
It was interesting. I'm used to a more...
it was a different choice.
Yeah. I'm used to a more... like, he's a little more, like, wacky in Suicide Squad. Like, I'm used to a more, like, refined, like, just the kind of guy that knows what he wants, Australian kind of thing. But...
So since you wanted to talk about this, can we just talk about who we think people are going to be?
I have no guesses. Actually, while I have the cast list pulled up, there's a picture of someone photoshopping Idris Elba as Deathstroke, which I would find super interesting.
That would be really cool. I love Idris Elba.
I do want to say King Shark was announced as, instead of Killer Croc, they're going King Shark.
Okay.
That's a rumor.
So maybe Idris Elba would be
true.
King Shark. I could see that. That would be interesting.
I don't know if you'd waste that pretty face on a voiceover.
But he's got a pretty voice.
He does have a pretty voice.
He's just all around awesome.
Yeah, fantastic actor.
Yeah, I mean, I literally have no guesses on any of them. Not even Michael Rooker, who kind of stays almost the same kind of type, like character type, because just his voice.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who that would be in the Suicide Squad. Like, that's... So you also have to think outside. This probably isn't just the squad. You're also thinking probably, like, the government that's involved.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I bet I know who Idris Elba will be. It'll probably be, like, Bronze Tiger or somebody.
Oh, that's a good choice, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Right?
That'd be so cool. Oh, good pull. I didn't even think. I want to see your movie now.
Idris Elba, please come be in my version of Suicide Squad.
Oh man, I didn't even think that. Oh, now you got me all excited. Not that I doubt James Gunn. Actually, when they announced James Gunn, I was super excited about this movie from the start because of how he handled Guardians. He took a group from Marvel that no one really knew. Like, yes, comic readers knew of them, but even then, it's like the bottom of the barrel comics. Like, no one really read them super heavily. Like, I knew of them and I knew who they were. And then James Gunn comes along and goes, bam, and throws them in our face and, like, did such a beautiful job with them. I think he can do the same thing with the Squad.
I'm really curious to who, like, I'm trying to think of who Nathan Fillion could be. He could be like one of those really kind of like wacky villains. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of see him as Colonel Flag,
like an older colonel. Or you mean okay? Yeah, I got you. I could see.
Mainly his look, his strong chin and clean cut look.
I don't know. He could also be someone like Mirror Master, who's kind of like a goofy villain.
So wacky.
Such a wacky villain.
He'd be down for any of that though, honestly. If you had a dream casting for, like, just pulling him out of the Squad, if you had a dream casting for Fillion in DC, who would you put him as?
Green Lantern.
Oh, damn it. Okay, let's get Jeremy hired at Warner Brothers. Right? I want to see these movies.
Because, I'm sorry, what better version of Hal Jordan is there than Nathan Fillion?
Oh my god.
Can you imagine it? Yeah, just think about
I could imagine it, and that's the problem, and now I'm upset. Because when they announce a Green Lantern movie, if it's not Nathan Fillion, I'm going to not be happy because you put this idea in my head.
Obviously, it's not going to be Nathan Fillion because he's in the Suicide Squad.
Unless it's Jon Stewart, then I can go, okay, I get it. But
right. But see, they stole my casting for who would make the best Jon Stewart as well. Who would you cast as Jon Stewart in the Green Lantern movie?
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. Elba. Idris Elba. Yeah.
That'd be phenomenal.
That would have been a phenomenal casting choice. The other person...
I could also see... I mean, he's older, but I could also see Denzel, like a younger Denzel, but not now.
I would love to see Michael B. Jordan do it. I think he'd be great in that role, but he's too young, I think.
Yeah.
He's good in anything, though. I love him as an actor. Like Creed. Oh, I loved him in Creed.
You know what would be a funny choice for that?
Chris Tucker.
that would be a really funny choice.
Do you see this energy coming out of my ring?
So that's why you cast like Warner Brothers, and you need to get hired on to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know about the casting. No, that's just me making jokes.
Yeah, man, that I would love to see. Just back to that, Nathan Fillion has always been my dream casting for Hal Jordan. Don't get me wrong. When I heard Ryan Reynolds was going to do it, I thought, hey, this is going to be pretty good. But later down the line, I was like, yeah, maybe Ryan Reynolds wasn't the right personality for that.
I don't think that necessarily. It's just that movie just had a lot of conflict. Like, there's just a lot of different directions being pulled in. I don't really blame Ryan for that. I don't blame even necessarily the director on that. There was just a lot going on. Before we dive out really quick, just back to Nathan Fillion. Did you guys see that fan film? Those people hired him to play live action Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
I heard he put that together himself.
Did he put that together?
I heard that was him. He put that together.
How have they not? I know they've been working on a movie.
They should have made.
And
him.
Tom Holland is cast as a young Nathan Drake, if not
really?
Nathan Drake. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic.
But like, I would love to. Nathan, he looks the part. Come on.
His character, who he is, matches that. I mean, that's one of the few. I don't play too many video games, but I have played a couple of those, and I mean, he fills those shoes so well. Just him as him.
I love Uncharted. It's a great game.
They should make a Tomb Raider and Uncharted crossover.
They should, with Nathan Fillion as freaking Nathan Drake.
And that one chick that's playing the new...
Even if it wasn't like a full-length movie, like just like he's exploring through like the caves, finding whatever, and then just in passing you see Lara Croft, and it's just like
she's swinging from
nonchalant
the top,
thing.
Like, what is this woman doing? There's a path. Yeah,
just a simple nod, not even like it's like an extra. It's not even casted as like an actual person. It's just like an extra playing Lara Croft in the background. I'd be okay with that. To see what she was up to, please see our next movie. And then it'd be a movie about her, and then you see the reverse side of it, where you see Nathan Fillion walking down as Nathan Drake, but you don't really. To get the full expansion, please pay for this.
Dream castings. I love dream casting movies.
We are cutting short on time. I know you had something. I just want to throw one little small bit of news out that Haley Atwell has joined Mission Impossible 7 with Senor Tom Cruise.
Mission Impossible 7. I gotta say, I didn't think they were gonna do another one after the
If
last
Tom Cruise wills it, it happens.
If Tom Cruise wills it.
Speaking of Tom Cruise, I don't know why he feels the need to prove himself to us. Like, he does all these stunts and then he keeps upping himself. Like, did you see the new Top Gun trailer? It's like, oh, you wanted a sequel? Well, if you weren't sold on it, come see him actually fly the jet. He actually flew the jets in that movie.
They let him fly. I mean,
yes, they let him fly a
I
jet.
think they're like $11 million plus dollar planes. Like, those are not cheap.
He's Tom Cruise. He can do whatever he wants.
Like, he's Tom Cruise.
Don't get me wrong, I enjoy him in his roles, but like, it's just, what?
Where do you draw the
Tom,
line?
stop putting yourself in danger. We love you. Don't.
No, don't say that, because someday I want to have a career like Tom Cruise's career, because I want to be able to fly one of those jets. That would just be the best.
So hope he doesn't crash one, because then it'll never happen again.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like the beauty of producing your own movies. Like,
yeah.
hey,
I mean,
I'm gonna fly this thing.
Top Gun's got to be close to being finished filming, right? It's got to be in the editing.
Yeah, they released a trailer.
Yeah.
That's how I knew about it.
Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, he probably, if we haven't heard about him crashing one yet, it probably isn't going to happen.
It probably worked out.
Yeah, it probably worked out.
This time around.
I'm sure
this
they were
time around.
super safe.
Because he's Tom Cruise.
He's Tom Cruise.
And I'm sure they were super safe. Like, if they're gonna, like, okay, Tom, if you're gonna fly this, we're really gonna have like a steering wheel in the back that you don't know about that the other pilot's gonna be controlling.
It's like when you're 15 taking driving classes.
It's like a student car. There's another set of everything. Tom, you didn't really fly it, but we'll let you think you did. But yes, no, I'm only saying that because I had a mad crush on Haley Atwell for a while. Still kind of do. I saw why Cap went back in time.
Yeah,
I saw.
You're not mad about it. Not mad at all.
Nope.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. I saw the latest one not by choice, more by like family holiday. The family put on the movie, and so I just kind of was forced to see it. I did enjoy Henry Cavill in that movie a lot, though. So I actually enjoyed watching the movie.
It was fun seeing him play that kind of character.
And seeing why he...
The chin?
The mustache, yeah. Like, I see why the mustache was kept. It made him more... not even the mustache. I'm going to go with the fact that he reloaded his arms when he went to punch somebody.
Well, I mean, if you had guns like Henry Cavill, you'd have to reload them every...
They're shotguns.
I'm not mad about it. It's so cheesy, but I love it.
that whole movie was pretty fun. I enjoyed it a lot. That fight scene in the bathroom, though, that one you were just talking about, there's that point where the bad guy gets thrown through like the mirror.
Yeah.
That stunt is just like, I'm like, wow, it blows my mind, because some guy got thrown.
I watched it through the Corridor Crew channel.
So did I. Yeah. Shout out to Corridor. But man, what a crazy stunt. What a crazy bunch of stunts in that.
Keep going. You were talking.
I'm sorry. Just awkward silence all of a sudden.
Awkward silence.
Moving on.
I think Jeremy just brain farted.
I did.
So anyway, Ben, did you say you had something to share?
Yeah. So we'll be kind of quick, because I know we have to move on and
get some
time.
I have a time.
Y'all took it all the time. No, it's cool.
All right, next segment.
So I heard a rumor today that Kill Bill 3 might be happening with Quentin Tarantino, which would be officially his 11th movie, even though he said he'd only do 10. But people are like, well, maybe he's counting 1 and 2 as one movie, Kill Bill. So, which I'm not mad. I love Kill Bill movies.
I mean, coming from the film industry, like, once you're in it, you're in it. I get he announced only a certain amount of movies, but if you love making movies, like, how do you stop it? I mean, look at Spielberg. Like, he's going forever.
Well, look at Jay-Z. He's only retired 9 times. So I don't know that number for sure, but I know he's retired like a couple times. But no, so I'm excited about that. That'd be a fun movie. That was always one of my faves. And then we will stay on that topic. Do you have something to say?
No, I mean, I think Kill Bill movies were all right. They weren't particularly in my top.
Jeremy's trying to redirect the topic of conversation.
He wasn't all about that. No, he's like, move on. So I guess we're gonna move on.
Did you have something else you wanted to talk about?
No, that was pretty much
okay. No.
For Kill Bill.
Well, that's who's in it, right?
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah.
For a second, I thought I was second guessing the actor. I was like, you guys gave me this look, and I was like, that's the actor.
I did enjoy the movies. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy them.
They were fun movies.
They were fun movies.
Don't backpedal.
Right? He's trying to undig the hole.
You're allowed to have opinions. Just the right ones.
Just the right ones. And then real quick, I kind of wanted to touch on Carnival Row. I don't think either one of you two have seen it.
I have actually seen the whole thing.
You've seen the whole thing?
I have.
Air high five.
Boom.
You among literally everyone at my work who knows I love movies and shows, watch it. And I'm like, okay, but
what? It was such an intriguing, like, dark fantasy show. Like, it's
the fairy tale that's needed to be told for a long time. I think that it couldn't have been told 10 years ago. I don't think it would have done well. I think it needed to wait for today's audience for it to work. I love how kind of, it's like the movie Bright, not to throw that in there, but it's, it's kind of like in a real world, but yet then they throw in a bunch of other random stuff that makes it fun and exciting. And, and I don't know, I think it's written really well. And I think the characters are all amazing. Orlando Bloom's in it, so how bad can it be? And I think it's one of my favorite roles I think I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, speaking of Orlando Bloom in the show, it is my favorite role that he's ever been in. And I love the Lord of the Rings movies. Probably my favorite movies, Lord of the Rings, because I'm a huge fantasy nerd. And he was the perfect casting for Legolas. But I really enjoyed his acting in this show. I thought it was spot on. I thought it was he was great. It's like he's got a lot of great subtleties in this show, and you see the evolution of his character, and I really like just how the story progresses. And then there's just the whole mystery behind what's happening. And I can't wait for season 2. Like, they've set themselves up really well for a second season. I can't wait to see what happens. I won't give spoilers to anybody because the show's still kind of new. But if you haven't seen it, check it out. Highly recommend it. It's a great show.
I will try to make time.
That's okay. I still haven't seen all of The Boys yet, so.
Ooh, you need to get on that. That's.
I've been really busy.
Be better.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, not to dive too much in personal life, but like, there's been a lot going on, and the ranch just dropped their next season. So Jordan and I are like, well, these are shorter episodes, so it's hard. It's like less of a commitment. So we've been watching more of the ranch.
So fun fact about the ranch. My father-in-law, I'm pretty sure they based Sam Elliott's character off of my father-in-law. I am not even joking.
It's pretty much him spot on.
To a T.
I don't know, the ranch, the first season was amazing, the second season was good, and I don't know, I mean, it's still...
They pick it back up, honestly. It feels a lot more like the earlier stuff.
I didn't watch the last season. To me, it just, it got way too dramatic, and there was too much just... drama in the show at first. I mean, it had its moments, but it was just kind of a fun show to watch that was kind of down to earth. But
well, in my opinion, it went back to that.
Okay,
I'm excited for it.
It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like they're still continuing their their storylines that they set up, but like it's a lot more jokey lately.
Kind of lighthearted because it was just getting deep
here and there. Like it'll be like episodes of like. There's a lot of serious, but it's like like anybody in their right mind in real life would not make as light of this situations as they do, but because they know they took it so serious, they're trying to bring it back. Okay. And I appreciate a lot of the jokes in it. Like they'll make me legitimately laugh like the first season did. Okay. It's but they're still continuing the storylines they've set up. So I mean I like it. The character they introduced, the cousin. Is growing on me. He's actually really, really funny in this season. So
he kind of annoyed me when they first dropped him.
He's become a bit like he's not Rooster's replacement, but he's become like that lighthearted thing that the show needed. Okay. Because even though there's some serious crap he deals with, he's very nonchalant about it, which I think adds to the humor. He's just like I don't even remember the line, and I won't spoil it, but like Ashton Kutcher's character will just like say something like, that's just sad that you're still like going through all this, and he's like, yeah. Whatever. But I like that because all the other characters take a lot of their crap so seriously, and they're all kind of coming back to just that more humorous show that we enjoyed. But yeah, I still like it.
But it's got a really great cast too.
Which reminds me, speaking of Netflix shows, Jeremy, please tell me you've looked into Love, Death, Robots. You know how many people I've gotten hooked on that show?
Oh, here's a weird thing.
No.
I found out one of my friends from high school.
No, you can't redirect that.
No, seriously. This has directly to do with that. I found out one of my friends from high school worked on the show.
Seriously?
Okay, you're back in.
His name is also Wes.
Oh, even better. I like him already.
Sounds too good to
What do you do? Like, what do you do?
I don't know. I just saw a Facebook post. He was holding one of the awards that it got. He was just saying it was great to be part of the crew that worked on it. So I messaged him and was like, hey, what did you do on the show? Because I had no idea. So and when I find out, I'll let you know.
Just watching.
So the moral of our entire tangent that just happened is watch Carnival Row. It's a great show.
Yeah, watch Carnival Row. It's a great show.
And I love Death Robots.
I'm gonna
But
hear
you went
about
to the
that.
ranch before then, so there was a lot of ups and downs there. That was a weird.
Well, I couldn't contribute to Carnival Row.
Oh, so I see what you just redirected the here. And we're yelling at you, Jeremy. We're yelling at you, and look at this guy.
I know.
No, legitly, no. Like that actually makes me like legitly excited. You know, somebody that worked on that. I think when you watch it, you'll see why I got an award. And as for Carnival Row, yes, I actually want to jump into that with my lady because I think it's something she'll really like.
Yeah, the wife and I watched the whole we Netflix binged it or Amazon binged it.
I watched it.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a tough time with like fairy tale fantasy stuff.
You'll like it.
This is more like it's almost like that like cosmic horror type. It's almost there, but it's really dark fantasy.
I liked it.
I would love to see them take it to a cosmic horror.
Are you talking like black magic, like Harry Potter? That scary magic that got banned from a school?
Yeah, like that. Because magic is all real, and if you say it, the devil will come for you.
What do you think? What do you think keeps Disney World afloat in Florida? Like magic.
Yeah, magic. Y'all just made an awkward eye contact. I just thought you should.
Oh, he's a beautiful man.
Oh, thank you.
He got lost in your eyes.
I did. Your muscles, his eyes. Oh man.
We're an unstoppable duo.
What's that song? A face like Denzel with a body like Arnold and Denzel face. Boom.
There we go.
You plus me equals Wes's dream. That got weird.
Was there any other news?
That's all I had.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody got their say because there's a lot that happened since we last met, and it was kind of cool to catch up on a lot of that. So the moral of the story is, yes, I will try to jump onto the Carnival Row bandwagon because no one said anything horrible about it to me.
It's a good show.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
On that note, we will be jumping into the final segment.
Does it stand?
Last episode, we discussed that we will cover the movie Bright. Netflix's Bright with Will Smith and an ogre. I'm not sure who played the ogre, so I'm just calling him an ogre.
That would be Joel Edgerton.
Thank you. So,
Jacoby.
if you are new to the show, Does It Stand works. We will take a coin, and we will still say that heads defends. Jeremy or Ben will call heads or tails. Whatever the coin lands on is what that person does. Hopefully Ben is prepared this time.
I was prepared last time to defend that.
So it really doesn't matter what you call, just whether.
Yeah. So you're gonna flip it for you. He flipped it for you last time,
Yeah,
right?
so it's your turn.
So you flip it for me. So heads I defend, tails I destroy it, which is rough because yet again.
So despite how the person feels about the movie, whatever they get on the coin determines if they have to defend the movie or if they have to tear it down, while the opposite person will do the opposite of what they're doing. The winner is chosen by the best argument via just my opinion. That'll rotate.
Vis-a-vis my opinion.
That'll rotate when it is my turn to argue, and whoever chooses the movie next time will, determine the arguments on that. So that being said, Ben, Jeremy called last time, I believe. No.
So you're gonna flip for me.
Yeah, you're flipping for Ben.
Yeah, so just flip for me.
That's right.
Heads I defend. Hopefully tails I cry.
All right. So what do you called heads?
Well, it's So heads is I defend.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. I got it. Heads.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I had some firepower for to knock it down, but overall I do like it as a movie.
Okay, let me start off.
Ben wins the toss, so Jeremy starts the argument.
Okay, fantastic. So let me preface this by saying I do actually like the movie as well. But as far as movies go, man, the world building just wasn't there for me. It jumps around so much. Like, you start off the whole movie with these, like, with a quote from their world, which is given no context in the entire movie. And then you're shown a bunch of graffiti made by the orcs. Maybe we should have talked about what the movie's actually about first. So
it's a cops movie in a fairy tale world.
Yeah, it's a cops movie in a fairy tale world, where basically fairy tale creatures like orcs, elves, and dwarves and all that stuff have basically just grown up in the same like world that we have today. So it's modern times with fantasy creatures living in it. So the orcs are a very misrepresented race, I guess. They sided with evil in some event that happened 2,000 years ago, which is never explained. And then they're kind of like the dregs of society. They're very mistreated. And then the elves are like high society. And then the humans just kind of coexist in the middle.
And then you got to bring up that the wands, and the reason it's called a bright is because that, it's, certain people can use a wand. Typically it's elves. Sometimes it's like 1 in a million humans can use it. And they never make mention if there's ever an orc that was ever able to use it. Mm-hmm. But so now you have these magical melting wands because apparently when they use it, it looks like lava is falling off of this unicorn horn thing.
Yeah, so basically what a bright is someone that can use magic in this world. So back to my original point, the world building is absolutely some of the most terrible in a movie ever. It is the absolute worst. No, I'm serious. The whole movie is just one big, like, no context driven story. Like, you have all of these concepts, like the idea of fairy tale creatures in our world, fairies, orcs, elves. But we're never, like, we're given this kind of, like, vague backstory that there was some dark lord once a long time ago, and that the orcs sided with them, which is why they're hated by society now. But yet there are still things in the world that exist, like, that would exist in our world. Like the movie Shrek. It's a throwaway line in the movie, but that, like, it's like, it encompasses, like, the whole negativity of the entire, like, the whole bad world building of the entire movie.
So do you feel it was laziness, or do you feel that it was on purpose?
I feel like it was bad writing. Like, I feel like it was just laziness. Why would you make a movie about happy fairy tale creatures in a world where fairy tales are obviously real life? Like, it's not, like, the whole context would be, for a movie like Shrek, would be totally different, So not only that, but we're not given any context into, like, the wands. Like, they're briefly mentioned as objects of power, but the only thing we get is that people can't touch them, or they explode if you're not a bright.
Oh, they become dust.
Literally, they explode, and they show that scene in the movie. So then, but the whole movie is Will Smith and Joel Edgerton running around trying to not let people have the wand. Like, all of these bad guys find out that they have it, and then, like, almost none of them can touch it. So why wouldn't you just hand it over and let them explode? It's a lot of just inconsistencies in the plot, inconsistencies in the action. It's awful.
Okay. Well, let's touch on Shrek real quick. So if we look at the movie Shrek, that movie, like, what they do, they talk down about orcs and stuff like that, right? And ogres. So, I mean, would it not stand in this world? Because who is, like, the lowest level of society? I mean, so I think that the movie was still kind of relevant in that regard because, I mean, it's still, the underdog and the thing. So, it was probably written and directed by orcs. No, I think it was a fun hero's journey, and I think it's a fairy tale. So you have to look past, I don't know, like, I lost my train of thought. You have to look past what you call bad writing. I think, they wanted to make a fairy tale movie, cop drama, because that's what it was, a hero's journey in today's world, but with these fairy tale creatures. I do wish we would have seen more of some of these other characters, because you see a measured driving through the city at the beginning, and you see some of the taggings on the walls. So I do feel it was kind of sped through, but overall, it had a great beginning, middle, and end, right? I mean, you see these two cops, and we'll call it racism, because in that world, it's a racism thing, right? I mean, it's different races and looking down on, and they're always downing Jacoby, and you see Will Smith, who doesn't really hate Jacoby. He doesn't like Jacoby. I don't get the sense that he, at the beginning is we'll call it racist as some of those other cops that were in that movie. But you see such a great character arc because, it's, and at one point he even makes a quote that's like, basically Jacoby's better than him. It's when they're at their low. He's like, you don't want a friend like me. It's because at that point he's acknowledged the fact that he is flawed. He talks a lot of crap, but he is, and it's, you see that character growth and it's a fairy tale hero's journey. So the fact that, there is that, they're the chosen ones or whatever you want to call that. And then they get to do that whole thing. And you see different parts. And a good fairy tale has a good legend that you have to feed from, right? And when Jacoby gets shot and then brought back to life and how it just facilitates, or whatever you want to call it, it's for the orcs, until he gets blooded, because that's their, they have that whole legend about someone dying and come back, or however that worked out. And I think it was just a fun story. Did it have some flaws? Yeah. But, when you look at the realism of the cop drama, two dudes rolling around in the ghettos of LA dealing with ghetto things, like the gangs, the Hispanic gang that rolls up and then tries to take the wand, and everybody wants that wand. Even if they can't use it, they might try to find someone that can, or they want to sell it for that money. So even if you took away the fairy tale characters, that's any movie where you have a couple people, Lord of the Rings. You said you love Lord of the Rings. That's the ring in this story.
Okay. Let me touch on this just real quick, because you mentioned the racism. So that's one of the other big things that I had a problem with as far as like world building, because clearly the orcs are hated and like 2,000 years have gone by, but they're hated on like a universal level in the movie. Every human hates them except Will Smith, which is one total BS because it's totally unrealistic.
How do you know it's every human? You see like 12 humans throughout the movie.
Oh my gosh. Every human being that interacts with the orcs in the movie, maybe with the side of the few partygoers in the gang.
You see like 5 cops, and that's about it. And then the wife.
Yeah.
Outside of that, and that party is raging, and there's people of all kinds in there.
That's true. But to the point, though, most of the people that you interact with in that movie, most of the people that have screen time in that movie, hate them on like a visceral level that's just like, it's so over the top that it seems unrealistic.
How do you still hold that grudge?
Yeah, how do you still hold, like, and how is it, it's so unrealistic because, and then because that's the thing is like, you have that much hate from a lot of people, and then you have some times where they're kind of integrated into other like groups, but not really, and then so here's a fun fact. For one of the graffitis at the beginning of the movie is that when they're talking about the Dark Lord is an elf, which signifies that an elf was the Dark Lord. But the elves are high society, loved by most everybody.
They explain that, though, because the elves are typically the ones are the brights.
Yep.
And so they even make a point of that.
They do make a point of that.
It's funny how...
But that's what I'm saying is like the inconsistency of that world building. So even though the orcs sided with this evil elf, and there are clearly other evil elves in the world, the elves aren't universally hated like
Magic.
The rest of them.
They can use wands.
Exactly. But that's my thing, though, is like, once more, it's totally unrealistic because when in human society would that ever have been something that they wouldn't have? Would they have ever let someone get that much power over them without fighting against it, without showing the same amount of hate that they showed towards the orcs, towards the elves?
But if you had but you're looking past the magic wand, and that's when they make that statement. It's funny how they're the ones that aren't hated. They're the ones that live in high society. Well, if I have a magic wand, I said magic wand. I don't want you to hate me anymore.
Okay, well then that's fair too. So let's touch on that point of the whole movie. So the magic wands are barely described in the whole movie.
Yeah, we have no knowledge of their how what's the scope of their power.
Right, we have no reference for how powerful they are or whatever. They just said you can grant any wish. Okay, so they can grant any wish. Throughout the whole movie, the elf girl, Tika, played by Lucy Fry, is carrying this wand around, and she's clearly a bright. And that's one of the other things that bothers me about the movie is like you start off this movie, it starts off as kind of a cop drama where they're touching on these like the interesting racial points and stuff like that, and that's fine. Like I get that was all great. Like it seemed like it was building towards something great. Where they lost me story-wise was they hit that point where they introduced the wand,
right? And
no context is given. All we get is some vague story that this group of renegade elves So the orcs aren't even the bad guys anymore,
Right.
but the elves are the bad guys.
I don't
and
think
they're
the orcs
trying
were ever the bad guys. They just weren't liked.
Well, the reason they weren't liked is because they were the guys that sided with the Dark Lord.
Right,
Like their
right.
whole race did that. Whatever. Even going beyond that whole thing, you get to that ridiculous point where all of a sudden, oh man, I can't even with this movie. You get to the point where they introduce this other concept. Like, to me, this was just a writer who wanted to do too many things in too short of a space, but didn't give any context, reason, or reference for anything in the movie. So like they give you this vague story that this group of renegade elves is trying to resurrect some dark lord who we never
like the
even
Illuminati. We'll consider them like the Illuminati of
they're called the Inferni in the movie. So they don't tell you what the Dark Lord did or how bad it was. They don't give you any reference to the scope of the destruction
Nobody
caused.
liked it.
Nobody liked it. That's all you get. And so when Will Smith and who plays Daryl Ward in the movie and Joel Egerton, who plays Nick Jacoby in the movie, encounter Tika for the first time, she has the wand and she uses it to blow up a car, right? And so they call it in on their walkies and they say, "Hey, possible, magic user and whatever." So the rest of that scene kicks off this random thing where the gangsters come in and try and take the wand, right? So the gangsters come in and try and take the wand. They fight their way through a bunch of gangsters. So then they escape from the gangsters. The whole reason that they're trying to keep the wand from people is because it grants wishes. But it's prefaced it's not prefaced, but it's said several times through the movie that if you touch it, you explode.
Unless you're a bright.
Why would you not just give the wand to the people and let them try it? Because the only way to figure out if you're a bright is to try it. And only 1 in a million humans. They actually say that. With a crazy guy whose character is only in the movie for like maybe 5 minutes.
Swinging a sword. You're talking about the homeless guy?
Yeah, the homeless guy.
I love him.
Real quick, I want to interject. So 4 minutes until final thoughts. I would like to hear a little bit more from Ben because right now Jeremy's kind of just taking over the whole conversation. So I just want to give Ben a chance to defend it a little bit more.
I'll wrap up this thought then. So my thought is that the movie is very chopped up with a lot of concepts. Like you have the Dark Lord, you have the hate against the orcs, you have you touched on the heroes and chosen. The prophecy is literally quoted one time by that crazy homeless guy.
Twice. Because Jacoby even makes mention of it.
Jacoby does make mention of it, but it's so vague that you don't really feel connected to it at all. And not to mention that then we get back to the point of the wand. We know that the girl can use the wand. She can use all kinds of magic, right? And the thing is, Will Smith knows this because he sees her use it right as they get to her. Okay. But throughout the whole massive fight scene that encompasses like an hour of the movie, where let's not forget that the bad guys just somehow magically know where they are and no context is given there. And there's a whole bunch of little nitpicky things I could get into with that whole fight scenes, especially the one in the strip club where Will Smith tells 2 random people to leave because clearly he knows there's going to be a gunfight, but doesn't tell them.
He tells the 2 humans. I mean, that shows a little bit to his racism side.
But there are other humans in that bar. They literally show them. He tells 2 random people to get out. He knows there's going to be a gunfight. Why didn't they just leave? Why didn't the girl just use the magic? And then let's touch on this random thing where she gets sick from using the magic.
Jesus, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why. Because they touch on it a little bit. That wand. See, just because you can touch the wand and it doesn't kill you doesn't mean you can now use the wand. I mean, they bring up the fact that you have to know the magic words or whatever it is, because Tika at one point tells Will what to say. Will Smith, Officer Ward in the movie, like the words to say. And Tika is in training, so she's not like... From what I gathered from watching that movie, she's in training. She's new, so it's not like she is like this awesome wand goer. What I lost was like, why did that one chick give her wand out in the first place? That's just weird to me. I wouldn't give out my wand. With that being said, she did that. She gave it out, right, to these 2 people, to the one, and then Tika takes it from that one chick. A wand is all powerful as it is only as good as the wielder. So, touch on just hand it to somebody else. Well, what happens if homie in the wheelchair is a bright? I mean, yeah, he's limited to what he can use because he doesn't know the magic words. With that being said, in today's world, you can Google anything. I'm sure you could find something about something. I mean, as rare as a wand is, I'm sure in that world there are common... Well, I mean, I guess... I don't know. I mean... But that's what's so fun about that world is how much. I mean, you can just go down so many different roads. So I mean, I get what you're saying is how God you could go 1,000 different directions with it, but at the same time, I don't know. That's what makes it fun because it can go anywhere, and I think. I don't know. I think it's a great setup for a bigger movie, which will never happen probably, but I hope it does. But so I mean, so the wand thing. The fact is, why isn't she just using this wand? Well, and they talk about ownership of the wand. It wasn't her wand, so and they never address that. You know, does that mean that if it's not your wand, are you limited to what you can do with said wand? I mean, you're right. There's a lot of opened.
There's a lot of inconsistency.
But I feel. How could you have made that movie with as grand as it is and trim it down? Like, I mean, I think that is trimmed down, if you will, as a movie like that as you can expect. I mean, you create a realistic world from today's standards, but fairy tale creatures are real. I mean, when he destroys that fairy at the beginning with a broom, because fairy lives matter. I mean, you can only expect so much in a movie like this. You know, I mean. I guess my question to you is how would you trim it down? How could you simplify this in a world of fairy tales where you get to hop right in, you know?
I would argue, and I get what you're saying because it was a large but see that's the problem with the movie is that it was so big.
I'm gonna interject real quick. Yeah. So we're gonna jump into your final arguments. Okay. How I want this to work, just. So no one goes down a rabbit hole. So I'm going to time it. Okay. And then if you're done, you're done. But if you're not, I'm going to cut you off and then go to the next person. Right, so each person is going to get a minute and a half to just kind of do their final argument. And then I will cut that person off. Whoever wants to go first can go first. But it'll start in 10 seconds. So either of you?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man, you've been shredding into this movie.
Dude, he's good at this game.
All right, Jeremy, and go.
So to your points, I think you make some valid points, but that was my biggest problem with the whole movie is that it was inconsistent. The story didn't flow very well. And that's the job of a filmmaker. The guy who directed this, David Ayer, he was the director for Training Day and End of Watch, which are both great cop dramas. This was not a great cop drama because it tried to be a cop drama, but it also tried to be too many other things. The inconsistencies in the storytelling, the zero context for things made you not connect with the characters, made you not connect with the story. The prophecy didn't connect with you because it's mentioned very briefly. And even though Jacoby mentions it a couple times and he keeps bringing it up, it doesn't connect with that character. You know, it doesn't connect with either of the characters. Ward is kind of a jerk throughout the whole movie. He doesn't have much of an arc, in my opinion. He kind of stays the same. He's the same guy. The only thing that changes his mind is Jacoby admitting the truth to him. And even that barely does it. Ward's just a good guy and he's grumpy. But his doesn't have much of an arc. He doesn't, like, at the end, you don't see that build in belief that he's supposed to have at the end of the movie. Jacoby is just an annoying character throughout the whole movie. He talks and talks and talks, Jacoby. And he's kind of an idiot. And don't get me wrong, he's a lovable idiot, but he is an annoying character. Idiot, yeah. And a lot of the story is explained through his exposition, which is also terrible. I gotta say, just overall as a movie, while I did find it entertaining, I wasn't attached to the characters or the story. The action was okay.
Time. All right, got 30 seconds before your clock starts.
Compose yourself.
Compose yourself. Gather your thought, man. He's been ripping into
He is on this
You
game.
need to build some roadblocks, man. Just some pointers. Think about some of the stuff he's been talking about. And
he's good at this game.
You guys have been really going back and forth. I like it. This is a good little.
He's been owning it. How much time I got?
3, 2, 1.
So I disagree. I think that their two characters were spot on. I mean, you have a bitter cop who's literally riding the clock until he can retire. I mean, I think they make a comment. He only has a couple more years until he can just retire, like 5 years. And Jacoby's that rookie. And not only is he that rookie, he's that rookie that nobody wants to work with. And in that job, you have that. You have the bitter cop who's done, burnt, and is riding out time, and that young person who's like ready to take on the world. And so I think that their characters, in that sense, who they were, was believable. And I think that there was a little bit of there was an arc. Was it as grand as in some movies? No. But Jacoby is learning throughout the movie and changing. I think Ward is learning how to be a little bit more flexible with things. The story was fun. You can't look past the fact of what it is. It is a cop drama set place in LA in fairy tale land. So looking too deep past that, I mean, in any movie you can find something wrong, but it's a cop drama in LA that takes place in fairy tale land, and they still have, you know, the Hispanic gang, and I mean, I don't know, it was fun. And then you throw in elements like Tika with the wand, and I get it at some moments you're like, what's going on with this crazy girl? Like when they were barricaded in that area and she's like doing weird stuff. But I think that it kind of helps add that character or that comic relief. And
time. Okay. All right, gentlemen. So before I actually give, my answer on the whole argument, you both actually did pretty good. Much better than the Cloverfield argument.
Jeremy's really good at this game. I'm not so good at this game.
Again, I don't really care about how I feel about a movie. I just listen to the guy's arguments. So when Jeremy points out certain things like, you know, you don't feel connected to the prophet, like nothing's explained, blah, blah, blah. I was really looking for you from like, well, yeah, like it is in this way. Like they may not have explained it through, but like you didn't really defend those points, so it really hurts
hard
you.
Because, you know, with that, I will agree that, you know, out of all the points you made, that's one of the truest things is, you know, here you have this hero's journey. It's supposed to be that fairy tale, which the biggest thing when you create a world, in my opinion, where you have these characters that are fulfilling that prophecy is you have to explain the prophecy in a way that the watchers are about that prophecy, or at least you know enough about it to go, are they or are they not?
Yeah.
And there was never that moment in this movie where, because you didn't know enough about the prophecy to go, are they or are they not? You know, you never, and so, you know, and that's what was hard when you threw that out there.
And right, but like, me personally, because I do like the movie. You can redirect something like that from like, well, you know, yeah. However, even though it's not like the best cop drama, like he was to his point, it's probably one of the most visually interesting cop things you'll ever see in your life. Like there's a shot that always sticks in my brain. It's like, I think it's like at night or sunset where you just see that dragon.
Oh,
I wrote a note down. I was gonna if I had to talk down the movie, I was gonna bring that up.
You're gonna talk down about that?
Yeah, because
why?
Okay, so there's randomly a dragon flying across the city. Does the dragon, is he able to talk, or is he crazy and burning stuff down? Like, to me, that was as magical as that dragon was flying across that skyline. You're just like,
it's visually interesting.
Does he? What's going on?
And that's I think that's everyone's biggest problem with the movie is that, like,
there was too much.
It was such a cool concept. I was so hyped when I saw like the trailer.
Oh, I love that movie.
I was so hyped when I saw the trailer, but it did let me down in a lot of ways. Like I do enjoy the movie overall; it's entertaining, but I still wouldn't call it a good movie. It's too broken up. Like you could have had like a really interesting time. Like you could have had all of the same elements, but told in a different way, in my opinion.
See, and I was waiting, honestly, for you to destroy the timeline so much more, because throughout that movie, and you kind of dabbled with the whole Shrek movie and stuff like that, they bring up like the deputy brings up the Alamo and how they still hate the Mexicans, and I'm just like, how is that a thing?
Like, how does that happen? Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of little checkpoints throughout the way that are just, they're solidified in our world, but because of that world and who hates who and the clickiness and. Well, you're just like, how would that have happened?
And that's why I brought up.
You guys seem to overthink movies.
Well, no, but it's true. Like in a world like that, if you wouldn't have the same timeline events, most likely. I mean, maybe alternate versions of them. Like maybe the Alamo was different.
Apparently, in this movie, it did.
Apparently, it did. But just having those fairy tale creatures in the world 2,000 years ago would change the context of the world.
See, and I would have had the Alamo. I would have had it with the orcs. I wouldn't. I mean, they did it as a comic relief for the deputy, which is awesome, except for that was one of the handful of things that were brought up about the historical events that you're just like,
we didn't even touch on the fact that like a lot of the characters in the movie were completely thrown away. The deputy's in that 1 and 2 scenes, and he dies in the second scene. Like that. It's so just, why was he even there?
Yeah, and
I'm not hearing a lot of points on why you guys love this movie.
Overall, it's a
For
great
people
movie.
that love this movie, you're really not really helping it.
I didn't say I love the movie. I said I like the movie.
Oh, I love the movie. I love the movie. But no, it is true. But, you know, it's when you look at it critically, I mean, there's a lot of shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go into it with just, it's a fun movie and you're not trying to just nitpick it's a great movie. It's visually awesome. You see a lot of really cool things that are tied together in a way that aren't normally tied together. And, you know, and it makes it awesome. I feel had they not tried so hard to bring up that past and spent more time on here's where we're at, right? And then bringing up this whole thing that, what are we going for? The prophecy that those two are supposed to fulfill. I think overall it would have just been better because there would have been all those stick points if you're like, well, how does that interconnect? I think had they were like, this is where we are, this is the prophecy, moving forward from there, I think that's how you'd fix so many of those little problems. With it being said, I still love that movie.
And with all that said, because I didn't even say what I chose, after Ben decided just to turn on himself and bash the movie, I'm going to go with Jeremy. No, legitimately though, Jeremy brought up like a ton of points that you didn't really defend too well. Like you came back a little bit with you came back a little bit with the whole the
wand,
the elf and the wand. Like you made sense of it, and that's like what I was looking for with other points. But ultimately, he just came up with a bunch that you were just like,
I got nothing. I kind of babbled.
But we can help Ben with his debate skills later.
It's a learning moment.
I can't wait to see like what our battle's going to be like next week.
What are we going to argue about next week? I will be pitted against Jeremy.
So I'm torn between Conan the Barbarian, the original, or
Man.
Judge Dredd, the original. I think I'm going to go with Judge Dredd, the original.
Originals.
Sylvester Stallone.
Are those on Netflix? Because that was the rule.
The rule is that they had to be easily accessible.
I know you can get Judge Dredd. I know I have it on DVD, so if somebody doesn't have it, I can.
Okay, because I don't have it for sure.
Okay, I can get you the copy. And we can make it work. Judge Dredd, the original.
That's going to be on you to make sure it gets distributed.
Deal. I got this.
That will be on you.
I love that movie.
I'm totally willing. I love that. It's a great movie.
Have you seen it before?
I would like someone to pick a movie that they hate at some point.
Oh, we're waiting. I was actually hoping you'd pick The Last Airbender.
No,
that is actually something you literally just said it. I'm hoping for a movie somebody hates.
I will forfeit. If I have to defend that movie, I will forfeit.
No, you need to defend that movie.
I will forfeit.
I'm gonna buy
that
a
round.
weighted coin just so the day that comes up, it just magically.
You can't break the rules. That makes it so unentertaining for the audience.
You know what I think I want to do is I want to assign that movie to you two, and I want to hear your thoughts on it.
No, that would be no fun. Watching you cringe and defend it would be amazing.
That's no fun.
Like it's undefendable.
If someone wants to pick a movie I hate, like throw The Happening at me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, The Happening.
Yeah.
That's not a great movie. I could defend that movie.
I like that
a little
movie.
bit.
It wasn't horrible.
The thing is, you could defend like most bad movies. I saw a movie once called Ice Pirates.
What?
I'm not even kidding you. It's like an old like 70s, 80s movie. It is horrifyingly bad. But
I throw away a script I've been working on called Ice Pirates.
But it's hilarious. It's a fun like
jungle,
you can
Ice Pirates in the jungle.
The thing is most of the time with bad movies you can go, well, it was fun because of this, or this was the intention behind it, and maybe they just didn't hit it.
We did work to try and get through Sharknado.
We even made a drinking game out of it.
Yeah, and it was still rough.
Yeah, that's a rough one too. No.
Sorry, dude. No, that's not how this game works.
All right, well, this better be random then. It better be random chance, because I have to at least have the opportunity to bash it.
Well, yeah.
Which I could do thoroughly.
But next time it is Judge Dredd.
Okay, Judge Dredd.
Unoriginal.
Not the remake.
Which was good.
I still enjoyed it.
It was good. I had a fun time with it.
It was a good movie. It was fun.
I like Carl Urban though, so.
Oh, dude, I love Carl Urban. He and like, if I could like literally just pair him and Nathan Fillion as like a pair in some kind of movie, like something along the lines of Rush Hour or something, I would love that.
Dude, Carl Urban's so funny, man. He's got such a great range of just like, he's such a good actor. I love him in Thor Ragnarok. But I also love him in Red, and he's not like he doesn't even do a lot of stuff in Red. He's just a badass in the whole movie.
There.
Well, I also really like him in the Star Trek movies as Bones.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Great job in that role.
Anywho, well, yes, gentlemen. So Ben wins one game, Jeremy the other, and that is awesome.
Cool.
Anywho, that is the game. Jeremy with the win on Does It Stand? Ben with the win on Name That. We will be implementing a tiebreaker game at some point, but at this time, you guys are tied. Next week will be my argument against Jeremy on Judge Dredd. Do you know what year that came out?
I think 80 something. I can find out.
It's totally. If it is, I would not be surprised. Totally an 80s movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But anywho, that is a wrap for our second podcast, gentlemen. Thank you so much for playing, and thank you for the audience. Thank you to the audience for listening.
Yeah. This show brought to you by Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. Last week it was we did 300. I forgot his name.
Oh, Gerard Butler, that beautiful man.
Jared Butler. Yep. Apparently, we're just gonna have
shout-out
random big actors.
I love it's always beautiful dudes. Like that's what we're going with.
I think that says more about us than it does our.
That's fair. We can always switch it to Margot Robbie though.
Oh, dude.
Can we have it tied? Can we have it Idris Elba and
No, it's Idris Elba.
Amber? So Margot. We're not mad.
Give me this look. I wasn't sure.
No. I'm just saying. No, we're sticking with Idris Elba. That's
Okay.
it. It's final.
Next week though, chick.
Thank you for establishing that rule. I appreciate it.
We gotta equally, pick who we're brought to you by. We can't just always pick dudes, beautiful dudes.
Yes, we can. That's who we are.
All right, we are rambling. Thank you so much for listening. Everybody have a great week.
This has been Two Nerds and a Jock. Tune in next week for more nerdy content.